Hello, everybody, and welcome to the next video in the series for penetration testing your initial configuration for Kali Linux. So this video, we're going to talk about how to maintain Kali Linux, much like updating system updates, how to install and remove software with the apt-get utility, apt-get command, and installing alternate meta packages with Kali Linux. Because when you install Kali Linux, the default installation is actually the 3 GB installation. It's not really quite everything. We'll review some of the meta packages that are involved with Kali Linux. So you installed Kali Linux a couple of days ago. You feel like you're in the driver's seat of an exotic brand new car, and you just want to go. Or you're standing in front of Kali Linux and you're like thinking, well, what next? Well, before we start off for Grand Prix in Monaco, let's go ahead and do our due diligence and make sure our system is up to date. This is right in front of me is the most recent this release of Kali Linux. That is 2019.4, the very last release of 2019. Let me just go ahead and log in with my default login. It's root. Oops. Looks like it's not selected. Root. And then TOR, for those of you guys that did not know already. All right, well, this is a very boring installation here. This is the default OVA that is released for VirtualBox. Okay, so let's get ourselves a terminal up and running, and a little later on we can cover a different series for Kali Linux to customize it so it looks something a little bit more beautiful. But for right now, let's just go ahead and keep it like this so you guys would have something more familiar to look at. Okay, so Kali Linux, how do we go about getting it and keeping it updated? Well, one thing to do is with the apt-get command. The apt-get command that I'm more interested in using is apt-get update. And apt-get update will make sure that Kali Linux repository, the repositories and sources itself, is synced up with the repository. Now, how does it know what to keep up with? So let me just go ahead and show you guys. The configuration for apt-get is under the etc directory, etc. Everything to configure. Basically, the home directory for every configuration file or most of the configuration files in Linux. Within the etc folder, there's an apt folder. So apt. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and do ls, or listing all the files within this directory. And here it is, sources.list. And let's go ahead and open it up with Nano. Now there are various number of command line and text-based editors out for Kali Linux, but for the most part, I use Nano for pretty much everything. All right, I'm going to go ahead and do sources.list, and I don't feel like typing it out, so I'm just going to press tab, and there we go. All right, notice here that this is the configuration of the file opens. Everything again is in commented out, is going to have a pound sign right in front of it. And notice here, we do have ourselves our distribution. Now, if you take a look at this file, there's nothing in here. You need to go find yourself the appropriate Kali Linux distribution for you to add in here. One place to go take a look at is the Kali website itself. Let me just go ahead and post that in there. So if you go, give me 1 second here. I think you look for the Kali Linux official repository. The official repository, and I just search here by Kali Linux official repository. Here are the regular repositories, and you can additionally on top of that add any other repository you'd like. Here, compatibility will vary depending on what repository it is, but here, this for most people, this is what you will need. Let's copy this. Hopefully, I have it turned on. It's bidirectional copy. Yep. There you go. Control-Shift-V will get you in there, but I don't need to add that in there. Control-Shift-V will get you in there, make any kind of configuration change you want. Control-X to exit out of the configuration. Now, this program is going to ask you to save the modified buffer. If I did make a change I would want to keep, I would go ahead and press yes. And I would ask me what to name it to. And obviously, it's going to be sources.list. Now, bear in mind, you still need to be root in order to modify most of the configuration files within etc. folder. Now, by default, you are logged in as root for Kali. But for those of you guys that have made yourselves another user, which is a smart idea, you would need to sudo nano sources.list. Okay, bear that in mind. Okay, now that we understand how to configure this, the sources.list, how do we configure Kali? How do we configure update Kali to begin? Well, you guys saw it earlier. I can type in apt-get update, but I would need to go ahead and put it apt-get. That is to update the repository resources themselves. However, we still need to upgrade the distro. I can do this apt-get upgrade after I do the update. There we go. But there is another way to do it. You can actually combine both lines. You can go apt-get update and apt-get upgrade -y. Now this is a little bit different. I know we haven't covered this yet, but -y on the upgrade portion just pretty much says accept defaults in pretty much everything. So I'm just going to go ahead and let this keep on going here. Looks like I need to update this distro irrespective. I might have to pause the video because this might take a while. If it takes more than a couple seconds, I am going to pause this recording. All right, well, looks like I have a couple hundred sources to update, so I'm going to pause the video right now and get back to you guys in a second. All right, fortuitously speaking, we're in luck. Looks like we got prompted with a couple of screens over here that I might want to speak on for you guys that might not have any experience with it. Okay, while doing the installation or upgrade, I should say, I am prompted with this. I am prompted with the screen over here asking about Wireshark. Now, should non-users be able to capture packets for all sets of purposes? Intents and purposes, you should be able to just say for here, yes. If you do intend for anyone other than root to capture packets, say yes. In the future, if you want to modify this, you can just go ahead and change your group. Change group will be able to modify this. But for right now, for all intents and purposes, yes is fine. Okay. I'm going to bring you guys back up for if there's anything else. I'm going to pause you guys again. All right, no other prompts were prompted me for anything here, so it looks like we're all set. I am back to my command prompt over here. Let me just go ahead and get back into the swing of things. Okay, so we just updated our operating system. Typically, in Kali Linux, you might, depending on what distribution or what distribution you're using, what version you're using, you might get an update right here. But it's not a bad idea to do this every week or whenever you feel like it to do the update and upgrade command. Now for installing, so that's great for installing the software you already do have, the applications or sources you already do have on your computer, on your virtual machine, I should say. What about installing anything else? So let's talk about the process of installing new applications and searching for new applications. Now, different in Windows. So if you guys want an analog for Windows, so if you go into Windows, you guys would use you just go use Google or download the file by itself and install on your computer, and you kind of like left to the devices that are on the actual application to tell you, this program has a new update or new version. In Kali Linux, basically, since we go off of a repository, we can upgrade everything in our computer en masse. So basically, at one command line, we can keep everything updated for the most part. I would say for the most part. There are exceptions out there, but for the most part, this is the reason why I like using Linux, because it's really a lot easier. Now, which sounds like an oxymoron for a lot of you guys that are looking at Kali Linux and thinking that it's the most exotic thing on the planet, but it will make sense. It will make sense, and you probably will fall in love with Linux in general the more you use it. Okay, so let's talk about installing software. And installing software is a cinch. It looks complicated, but it's actually a cinch. So if we, let's say if I wanted to install an application like ipcalc. Okay, ipcalc is not found. ipcalc is not found in this computer here. I can go look where it is, ipcalc. Which is a command, we'll talk about that later, which looks for the manual pages and the binaries meaning the executables for this particular command. So fortuitously, it is not found. So let's go ahead and install ipcalc. apt-get install IP, and I can just tab it out using my tab function here. Anything that starts with IP, anything that starts with an IP will be in here. Let's see. Oh, what do you know? We have ipcalc there, and I can just tab it out, and I can install that software. Okay, awesome. Okay, it goes through the entire process there. Kali, or actually, I should say, apt-get or aptitude takes over, installs all the dependencies, everything that I would need. So for those of you guys more familiar with Windows, all the sources that I would need, the prerequisites in order to run this actual command or application is going to be installed for Kali Linux. And look at that. No Googling required, no going and downloading, no accepting any type of end user agreements. It is there for me to use right now. So if I use ipcalc right now, boom, that actual the actual command is now available to me. Okay, well, let me show you guys with ipcalc. All right, a little bit outside the realm of what we're doing right now, but for those of you guys that are struggling with subnetting, ipcalc is absolutely amazing. So if I want to say ipcalc 192.168.0.0/28, and if I want to calculate the CIDR involved with this subnet, ipcalc will tell me what the ranges are for it. And it also converts me in binary, tells me what class, and it is in private internet. So for those of you guys that want a tool for calculating subnets, don't want to use subnetting.net or whatever it is that the calculation tool that's available online, here you go, at your fingertips. It's right there. Now, okay, so we learned how to install a package, and additionally on top of that, apt-get update. apt-get update and apt-get upgrade Y will also now update this program as well. Okay. All right. So let's talk about that. What about if I want to remove? What if I want to remove, for whatever reason, I want to remove ipcalc? Okay. Where is ipcalc? And again, it shows me where the binary file is, or executable, and it also tells me where the man pages are for it. So what if I want to get rid of it for whatever reason? Okay? If I find that I don't need it anymore, whatever, I go use apt-get remove. apt-get remove ipcalc will remove this program for me. I'm going to continue. Yes, of course. And it'll take about a second, and I want to say boom so bad right now, but so I'm going to wait until I actually get back to the command prompt. Okay. And if I go where is ipcalc, looks like ipcalc returns nothing. It is removed from my system completely. Now, additionally on top of that, okay, let me just go ahead and install ipcalc again. Okay. It's a little bit faster this time because it already installed or downloaded. It already downloaded the sources to my computer. So all it really needs to do is unpack or unzip, whatever terminology you want, unpack that archive or package file in my computer. Okay. So there we go. And speaking of packages, okay, so once you upgrade your system, what happens is there's a bunch of packages that are downloaded, and it does at times take a lot of space. So what you want to do is you might want to go ahead for your these packages, apt-get purge will remove all of those. Or actually apt-get clean, I should say. apt-get clean, apt-get purge. Between the two of those will remove all your dependencies that you've already installed, or your packages, or anything that's cached in your system. All right, so I guess the question now becomes, okay, so how do I know how you guys know how to upgrade a particular, how to upgrade your entire system. You guys know that if you run your apt-get update and apt-get, this upgrade will update everything that's installed in your system. How about if you want to remove or upgrade things individually? Okay, so you can do that with ipcalc, apt-get upgrade. apt-get ipcalc upgrade apt-get apt-get upgrade IP calc, I should say, will specifically upgrade that one particular application by itself. Okay, let's see. So we learned how to clean the cache. We learned how to upgrade them individually. We learned how to remove packages. How about this? Okay, so Kali Linux. What if you want to install pretty much everything for Kali Linux? There is such a thing as meta packages for Kali Linux. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. Okay. Kali Linux meta packages. Okay, so within Kali Linux, when you actually download an OVA or the open virtualization format, or as I call it, the Oracle Virtual Appliance, but the OVA itself or the ISO itself will actually install Kali Linux, just a standard Kali Linux distribution. These are the meta packages for Kali Linux. Now, give me one quick second, you guys. I'm going to pause you guys for a second. All right. When you install Kali Linux from an ISO or just download the 3 gigabyte file, the 3 gigabyte file from the Kali Linux download, you're going to get a different branch of tools. Now, Kali Linux by itself is the bare bones Kali Linux distribution. Kali Linux Full, which is a little bit misleading, is basically the standard installation from the ISO package. So if you install Kali Linux from an ISO, you will be getting Kali Linux Full, which is not the complete set. For those of you guys that want to have everything, for whatever reason, you can use Kali Linux All. So one thing, there's a bunch of distributions out there. Let me go and show you guys what this apt-get. And since I already did the update, before you do this, you should do an update command that I just did like 2 seconds ago. So it doesn't really matter, but for the sake of completeness, I'm just going to go through that entire process. Apt-get install Kali, and I can just tab it out again. I can just tab, or actually, okay. You can see that all these over here, you have a bunch of I guess you can say meta packages. Kali Linux tools that are specialized for Bluetooth, cryptography, steganography, cryptonography, that is like cryptography and steganography, database exploitation, forensics. You guys, I'm not going to read them all over to you guys, but that is pretty much all the packages here. There are a couple of packages that don't match with everything, but if you want to be thorough, you can do apt-get install Kali Linux all, and there you go. Kali Linux All will go through this initial package. It will install this entire meta package for you. Okay. Additionally, on top of that, I will not cover it in this section, but if you do not like the way how Kali Linux looks, I personally do not use, what is this, XFCE or some XFCE? I think this is it. XFCE here. I actually personally like to use CADA or KDE. I know I got some nerd points from a couple of nerds out there that like the fact that I said CADA instead of KDE, or GNOME. I will go through this entire section for a desktop manager section a little bit later in configuring. So configuring it so you can have a more tailor-made desktop environment. Let's see. So Kali Linux install all, which is this is actually what I like to use. I never know when I'm using anything. But additionally, on top of that, if I wanted Kali Linux, let's see, Kali Linux Forensics, Kali Linux Full, GPU, let's go ahead. I'm not going to go through that entire process. Let's see, did I cover everything that I wanted to go over? Installing alternative meta packages. Okay, that seems like that is all I want to do for right now. All right, as always, if you like the content, please like, subscribe, and share with all your buddies out there. Next video is going to be more in terms of actually getting into more of the guts of Kali Linux, navigating around, and then eventually we are going to go into more in-depth things like man-in-the-middle attacks and all that good stuff. But the trainer in me wants to make sure that everybody here is on the same page and has the prerequisite knowledge to gain everything, gain knowledge in the future, so they are not lost in the future videos. All right, thank you everyone for joining in. Please like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see you guys later. I'll get a better microphone sooner or later, so just bear with me. And does anybody want to see my face on there, like maybe on here on the side? You guys want to see me? If you guys want to do that, yeah, please comment, like, share. all that good jazz. All right, I'll see you guys next time.